Hey guys, this is Bangs from the Gaming Tree here. I'm sure you guys how to get 100% in Citizen Sleeper. It is an easy completion. It should take you up to 10 hours or less. For my first hour, I made it to 10 hours. For this run, it's actually 6 hours. I will show you the ending time for this game, which I made on my second account. But right when you hit A, we're going to go right into new game. We're going to have to do this in 3 playthroughs, but right when we click a save slot, we're going to have 3 things we could go through, which is operator, extractor, and machinist. So our first task is going to be engineer. So you could go choose that skill set, that class. But for this run, I'm going to go for extractor. It's going to be somewhat easy. As it is basically RNG for your roll dice, your action dice, as it depends how fast you can get through this game. But once we get into extractor and we start loading up the game is going to load up either way. Just hit A and go through the dialogue. It doesn't matter on what you pick. As once you finish, it's going to make you go through the tutorial state where you're going to have to go to Dragos. You can move up and down on a ship with the stick, the movement stick. Or, of course, if you're playing on computer, it'll be your mouse pad. I mean, your mouse scroll. We're going to go into Dragos. You could just spam A and go through his dialogue. And it's going to tell you more of the mission, telling you that you're on the ship, and it runs on cycles. Cycles are days. So every single time when you go to sleep, your health is going to start decreasing, such as your hunger and your health. The less health that you have, the less actions you could do. But we're going to go to sleep for the first time, because that's the only thing we can do. And once you wake up, just go through the dialogue. Before we get started, we're going to have the first one is our health, which you can see it says flickering and it's orange. The more it decreases, the less we're going to have of number 2, which is our action dice, which allows us to do even more actions. 1 is the lowest and 6 is the highest. 5 and 6 are successful, but I mostly roll on 6. We're going to get to a point where we're going to push that 5, where we could push numbers up. So a 5 could turn into a 6 and etc. depending on what your skill is for that action. 3 is your hunger bar, and basically if it's low enough, when you go back to sleep, let's say you're starving, it will start affecting your condition, which is your health, and that would decrease it even more. Your goal is to keep 1 up and 3 up, so you can have your 2 at 5, not 5, 6. Correction, it is 5. I'm high. So we're going to go right when once we back out, we're going to speak to Dragos, go through the whole dialogue, and we're going to go to Dragos' yard. This is basically telling you what I just said before, how to use your action roll dice. So we're going to hit 5 on hull dissection. Once it goes through, just back out. Don't put anything more into this. Just back out. Don't do what I'm doing. Just back out. You want to go up and you want to go to the bright market and you want to look for more. I'm about to go up to it right now. The bright market, which is all the way up there. It's only furthest you could go. Should be the second last option, which is this. You want to ask for directions and put that the highest roll dice that you have into ask for directions. There is a chance you can max it out. And then what you want to do is max it out with the local knowledge. This opens up everything here. You're gonna have to do this all throughout the ship with this compass looking thing. But once you get one of those tipped, go to Sabine, which is the slum doctor. We're gonna have to do this for all 3 runs. This is the first thing you want to do, because if you don't, we're gonna lose more action dice. So the only reason why you want to go here first is because he's going to have to grab materials. You could just go through this dialogue because it's not going to affect anything. I'll tell you when you have to choose things, but he's going to wait a few days, aka cycles, until he gives you that medicine. His medicine's going to push your flickering health bar to max. RB shows you your skill points, which is what I'm looking at here. You can see my skills at the moment. Interference is at +1, so any object that has interference, if I have a 5, it's gonna push it up to a 6. So at the moment we don't have anything, so we're just gonna go to bed, which is the empty container. Once we go to sleep, we're gonna wake up with a full thing of dice. We're starving at the moment, as you can see right there. And this dialogue box is going to pull up, go through the whole dialogue. We're going to back out and leave. And we're going to go back to the blight markets. And we're going to start putting more of our action dice into it. If you have a high enough action dice, you could just max it out instantly. As you can see right there. I just maxed it out instantly. So if you had like a 5 or 6, you could knock it out with 1 dice. Once you max it out instantly, both of them are going to start locking, and once you back out, you have the whole area unlocked. Once you have the whole area unlocked, we're going to go to that soup on the right side. I was trying to get to it, which is from Emphis. We're going to hit that button, and that's going to make our starving meter go to full. Just hit A and go to the dialogue. And we're going to gain a mission from him, as you can see from Drive. We're going to go right back into him, because just to unlock a bit of his mission. And we're going to buy like 4 things. We're going to buy like 1 thing of fungus. We're going to come back here every day. But once we get to the 4th one, he's going to start asking for an object, which we're going to unlock later on. But right when we buy it, we're going to go down to Dragos yard and start putting some of the dice inside of it. Of course, since we have a 3, we're gonna start getting negativity. This is not negativity could cost you your energy or your condition, or you could lose money. That is a possibility. I'll tell you when you need to do hires like 6s, which is going to be for a few missables, and you want to make sure you do have like a 6 for a certain rule, for a certain action. So we're gonna go back to sleep. We're going to go through this dialogue box once again. And we're going to gain a small box down below which says hunted. We're going to let this fill out, not to worry about it. This is going to lead to a mission that we need to unlock, which is Ethan the bounty hunter. He's going to come and try to kill us. And what we need to do is pay off his bar fee. And this is going to give us a skill point, as well as an achievement. So he's only going to come after a few cycles. I believe it's 8. I could be wrong, but you can just check every single time when you wake up, because eventually he's just going to appear once you leave. But right when we leave, you can see that it gives us the notification that we have the ability to use the Y button, which is the eye. If you're at mouse, you could just click the eye and it brings up this hacking menu. With the 1s and 2s and possibly 3s, we could use our hacking on all of these options. So we could go to this Yatagan agent, probably said it wrong. We're going to use the 1 dice here. As you can see, it says match the input. We can match the input, which says in that white box, or in the red, we could use that as well. That's for a second option. And we extract the data. You want to do this as much as you can when you have lower ones, because we're going to have to use these objects for certain things that we need to get on later on, such as ways to complete a mission or ways to unlock further things for health. So just start hacking. It's completely random. So just go down, up and down the ship, trying to hack a few things. Once you hack 2 things, this dialogue box is going to come up. Just go to the dialogue and just spam A. Of course, you're going to take a bit of damage. But from here, I went back to Dragos and start putting more stuff into it. I'm not really worried about the negative side effects because one, I'm gonna get my stuff back by the next day. But as I scroll down, we're gonna go down to the shipyard. We're not gonna do that yet. This is where we're gonna have to do the other two things for the endings. But we're not gonna focus on that just yet. So moving up, we're gonna go up to the Rotunda. This is gonna be the second thing we're gonna do after we finish up Dragos, as there are a few things that we need to do in here. And that's gonna unlock a few more options that we need, which is for a few more drives, which is gonna give us a few more skill points. But when we wake up, as you can see, I got a stocky draw as well. I'm starving, so I need to go eat. But right when we back out, we're gonna get a character speaking to us named Feng. So we're just gonna spam A, go through the dialogue, and basically we're not gonna do his mission. We're gonna set it up, but we have to complete Ethan the bounty hunter first for an achievement. But before we do that, go all the way up and go to Sabine, because at this point he should have some of the stabilizer that he's been researching. So just spam A, and that fading is gonna go to yellow, which is gonna be stable. And right after that, we're gonna go get some food because we are hungry. We're gonna go to Emphis' stall. We're gonna get some fungus to get even more progress on that fungus fan mission. And once we back out, what we're going to do is that we're gonna go right into hacking, which is for the 1s and 2s. I did go back to Dragos, but I basically sat there, so I'm gonna cut this for a little bit. I didn't do anything here, and I just went straight into hacking right after this, so I'm gonna cut it right here, and we're just gonna go right into hacking. Just grab a few things, and then we're just gonna go back to sleep, and that's gonna push the 3 action rolls to 5. So I'm just gonna right after this, I'm just gonna stop talking until we go back to sleep. I'm just gonna show you the progress of me grabbing the materials. Do note, we're gonna have to, before I do stop talking, we're gonna have to get 5 of those swords and 5 of the H's, which is right at the bottom. The H's are from the Havenage. As you can see, it starts with an H for the H agents, and then the Y agents, which starts with a Y. They're gonna give us those swords. We need 5 of those. One of them is gonna give us a stabilizer, and the other one's going to give us a Shipmind, which we need for a mission. And the other one we still at least get like 3 more extras for another mission. But since I didn't really stop talking and we're still going, we're gonna wake up and we're gonna see this one machine. Looks like a walkie-talkie as well as some gas. And this is Feng. We're gonna have to speak to him because it won't let you go back to sleep until you interact with him. So go through the dialogue to spam A. He's gonna tell you to go hack some things. We are gonna hack it. But first, we're gonna go to Dragos' yard. I was saying his name wrong. Dragos, like Harry Potter, or Dragos. We're gonna go to this Dissection. We're gonna work on it, and we're growing a bit closer. So I'm gonna put a 3 in here. Hopefully, it won't give me a negative, and it did. And we're gonna use the rest for hacking. But first, we're gonna go to Emphis' stall. We're gonna go grab some food because we're starving. You should have enough at this moment. We're gonna go right into hacking and just start going for the things that you can get. You can see there goes the Y agent. That's gonna give us our sword. Right at the bottom, you can see the counters. You're gonna see this slot, which is the circle. The circle is what we need to do for that Feng mission. The key nodes, keep in mind, will give you more keys. Which we will need for later on. So make sure you get those as well. At least like 3 keys is what we need. But I'm mostly just going for anything that lets me put in stuff. As once you finish up, I didn't really find anything for the one, so I just went back to sleep. As once we wake up, depending on the roll, which I got a good roll, I'm gonna go to Dragos and finish up. As once you finish, you should get any achievements. It's not gonna happen until you back out and go back into Dragos, so a dialogue box is gonna happen. And once you're done with that dialogue, the achievement is going to pop. And it's gonna unlock another thing that we need to do for Dragos. And once we're done with that, what the dialogue box is gonna give us an achievement, as well as a upgrade point, as well as a tutorial. Mouthful. Hit continue. I was struggling a bit to access this because I was doing this on the PC and it's a lot easier. We're going to upgrade Endure so we could get rid of that negative point. And once we finish up with pushing that to 0, our next upgrade is going to be Engage until we get Excessive Haggler. We want to drop everything by 20% because it will make our lives a lot easier. This is what I did for every run, for the 3 runs that I do. So right after you upgrade, we're gonna go to the Rotunda. If you still have a high, like a 5, we're going to steal the Doc's plan. And if you have a 5 or a 6, this is gonna instantly unlock that circle. As well, unlock a mercenary, which is Anikhita. I probably said it wrong. It's the stranded mercenary that's on the left side. We're going to go through her dialogue, just spam A. Once the drive pops up, we can go back to her again, but I'm not going to do that just yet because I want to go to Dragos, because we got to finish up his stuff before the timer goes out. So going back into Dragos, we're going to do the Forensic Thrall, which is the Winter Light on the left side. Don't do Yard Clearance. Go to Winter Light, put your stuff into it. It's safe. So you could throw in your 3s, your 2s, and your 1s in here. But I'm going to save that 2 for the hacking that I'm going to need. I go back into them, put the 3 into it. Once it's done, I did back out and I went straight into hacking. I went and grabbed a keynote, which I had at the bottom. This will could or not be there, depending on your game. As after this, I went to sleep. If you do go hacking, this dialog box will appear. Just spam A. I did take damage, which is fine. We're still gonna get a stabilizer soon anyways. So just go to your empty container and go to sleep. Go to the next cycle. As once we wake up, we're going to back out. We're gonna put some stuff into Dragos. When I mean some, I mean all of it. I'm gonna put everything into Dragos, which is the 6, the 1, and the 2 3s. And then we're gonna go eat, and then we're gonna go to sleep. So once that's done, we're gonna back out and we're gonna go to Emphis. We're gonna go grab some more fungus that we need to go eat because we're a bit starving. Once we do put this in here, we're gonna back out, and then he's gonna have his icon out. We're gonna have to speak to him. He's gonna make us go on a mission, but we cannot do that until later on. So just go through A, just spam A. We could get this throughout. So once you go into the next area, there's a chance you can grab some. But most likely you're gonna get it from growing, but that's in the next area. That's like further up on the ship. So we're just gonna go back to the empty container, and then we're gonna go to sleep. When we wake up, we're gonna have a better draw. As you can see, I have 3 6s. We're gonna go to Dragos. We're gonna finish up his stuff or put it in a 6. And then we're gonna go to the mercenary and start putting the rest of our 6s into that. Once we back out, it's gonna bring us straight into a dialog box to spam A. And once you get out of this, it's gonna give us an achievement. As well as an upgrade point. We're gonna go into our upgrades. I'm just waiting for it to disappear. We're gonna go into engage and we're gonna hit thrill seeker. And then we're gonna go back out and we're gonna go to the mercenary. The Ambergris. We're gonna go right into it. We're gonna go to rewire drones. We're gonna put 6. That's gonna lock it out. Now we're gonna go to the right. We're gonna hit that one. We're gonna put in our 6. And once this is over, we're gonna back out and we're gonna go hack once again. And once we're done hacking, we're gonna go to sleep. I'm just trying to find the empty container. Still got a few more cycles until Ethan comes, so we don't have to worry about anything. Make sure you do have 64 or $68 in your account, because that's how much it is. From here, we're gonna go back into the Ambergris, which is the mercenary. I'm just trying to get to it. We're gonna put our 6 into it, as well as our 4. From this, what we're going to do is go right into hacking. And we're going to use R2s. And then we're going to go to sleep. When we wake up, we're going to go to Emphis' stall and give us some food, because we are starving at this moment. As once we get enough food, we're going to go to the mercenary. We're going to finish off her ship and go through her dialogue. Okay, once we're fed, we're gonna go down to the mercenary on the left side, the Ambergris. We're gonna put in our 4. As I backed out and going right back into her, she's gonna be asking for a Shipmind. You get a Shipmind in multiple ways. You get it from the merchant freighter, which is right there, which is like 60 at the moment, but once we get that 20%, it's going to drop it down to 40. There is another ship that comes in on our right side, and that's going to carry some scrap. You can buy it from them as well. Of course, it's going to be random. You could get it from hacking, and then you could get it from the scrapyard, which is further on in the story. But pretty much at this point, you could get it really quickly. But one of the ways that we are going to be getting is from hacking. We need 5 H's and the 5 swords. But before we go on, we're going to get to the other person who needs a Shipmind. And make sure you have those the keys down below. You at least need 2. So go to the sealed crater, which is right in the middle, and just put in 2 of your keys. And this is going to unlock Neovend. This is just a robot, and you can just spam A. So what he's gonna do, he's basically to still dock if you weren't paying attention. But what he needs is that we need to go into hacking, and we need to start hacking the hunter data. We need 3 of these. So right when you hit Y, you can see that they're red. Those are the hunter nests. We need to hack those to progress with his story. I was trying to get up to the hunter's nest. Seemingly how I don't have it, I'm going to the other one to see if I could get it, and I could. Then from here, if you haven't hacked it already, it's the Lowend Gate, which is a little bit up. You can see it's a circle. It's a Lowend Gate S7. You probably hacked it already. It's the circle that I told you about earlier. You could hack. I'm gonna hack this by putting in the S. This is going in for Feng's mission. We're not going to complete it just yet. This gives us more places to hack. But from here, we're going to go back to our empty container and go to sleep. Ethan's going to appear, and that's the reason why I haven't taken the Stablizer just yet, because we're going to have to give him money. So when he appears, just spam A. And go through his dialogue. He's just going to tell us to meet at a bar in a few cycles. And we just need to have like $64 on us. I have 152. I'm going to use this to buy the low end right above. Of course, you won't have enough money. If you don't have enough money, you could go to the bar, which is right next to the mercenary. I'm showing you where Ethan's at. That's the time we want to wait on. Make sure you're watching this timer, because if he comes to your house, you lose the drive, and your part of the achievement is failed. The achievement is gone. Once you pay off his tab, you get a upgrade ability. So you want to max it out. That's like 4 days. Just come back after 4 days and just keep looking at it. So after this, what we're going to do is I'm going to go down. Of course, since I didn't finish up with the hunter's ability, I'm going to go into my hack mode and find where it's at. And I'm going to pay off for the rest. And I'm going to be going back to the sealed dock to give all of my hunter scans back to him. Of course, this is going to pop up. This hunter dialogue is going to pop up. Just spam A. It is going to drop you to declining. That's the reason you haven't used your Can you say? I just said Stablizer. Give him your hunter data. All 3. And then we're going to back out, and we're going to go right back into his dialogue. At this point, he's going to be asking for a Shipmind. For the rest, what we're going to do is that we're going to go to the low end right above us. I'm showing you that there's a Shipmind, but we're going to go to the low end above us, which is the arrow pointing up. This is right past this Emphis stall. And we're going to buy into the Lowend Gate. 60 credits. And we're going to unlock the whole area. This is going to help us get one of these Shipminds. So we're going to enter the low end area. You can put in each one depending which one you want to. It doesn't matter. I'm putting in this 4. and then the other 4. As after this, what we're going to do is that we're going to go back to our shelter and we're going to go to sleep. As once we get into it, we're going to use our stabilizer this time. We're going to get our health all the way up, right into stable, and then we're going to go to sleep. When we wake up, what we're going to do is go up. I'm going to show you the ship that's right here on the right side. That's the ship I was talking about before, which is the scrap freighter. You could buy scrap for them. You could get actual scrap, or you could get a Shipmind. It is random, of course. But we are going to need at least a few pieces of scrap for a apartment that we're going to build out. But before we go any further, we're going to grab some food from Emphis' stall to not make us hungry. Then we're going to go to the compass, which is right where the low end is at. And we're going to put, since I have 6s here, I'm going to put my 6s into the black maintenance. As well as the 4. There is a chance that it might not go through because it is a 4 and it's low. Might give you a negative. I mostly goes with 6s. But right when you get it completed, we're going to back out and we're going to go to Castor. Go through his dialogue. You can just spam A. This is the guy who's going to give us the Shipmind and also a stabilizer. And the only way you could get both of these is by hacking. As you can see right here, here's the H's and the swords that I told you who the hack. The H's are from the H agents and the swords are from the Y agents. I'm not going to say their full name, but you can see who it is just by looking at the first letter of who you're hacking. The free spoke is what we're going to be unlocking next. There is a missable achievement here. And the Derlick unit is also a missable achievement, as we need 4 pieces of scrap. So if you have any pieces of scrap, feed them into the apartment, because we're going to be doing a few actions here as well. But right when you put all your scrap into it, we're going to go right into hacking. And start trying to grab anything that you can get your hands on, which is the Y agents or the H agents. You need 5 for each. I'm getting more H agents. I'm going to get this to a 5. So now we're going to go back to Castor once I finish up this hack. Of this solemn node. Just hack what you can get. But the solemn nodes are story related, so do get those when you do get the chance. We're gonna head over back to Castor. We're going to put in our H's. And that's going to give us a Shipmind. We cannot get any more Shipminds after we use this. So once you use both choices, he's basically useless. But we're going to go to the mercenary from the Ambergris. We're going to deliver the Shipmind. And that's going to complete her mission for now. Once you back out, it's going to give us a upgrade point. Where we're going to go speak to her again, go through her dialogue, and she's going to go further up of the ship, which to a spot we don't have unlocked just yet, to look for her crewmates, and we're going to help her with that. We're going to go into RB, which is our upgrades. We're going to go to engage and we're going to put +1. From here, we need 2 more upgrade points to get Excessive Haggler. This is going to save us a bunch of money. From this, we're going to go back down to our sleeping quarters and go to sleep. When we wake up, what we're going to do is back out, and we're going to go up to the spoke. The free spoke. Since we have 3 5s, we're going to go and put it into the right one, engage, since we have that as +1. If you, hopefully at this moment you should. I'm going to put in my 5s, and it's going to push up to a 6, which is 100%. With no negativities, so we're going to do that for the exact same for the other 2 5s. And it should unlock this, letting us go up the spoke, which is towards one of the endings. But once we unlock it, it's going to unlock the Midnight Freight Hub. You want to have at least 5s or 6s for this. You do not want to put it in 4s, because it will lead to a negative. This is a missable achievement. You at least want a 5 or 6. But since I only have 2 1s, what we're going to do is that we're going to go into hacking and start hacking the ones that I can get. And then from here, we're just going to go to sleep. And I'll meet you back once we wake up. So when we back out of the spot, we're going to go up to the midline spot. What we're trying to do is steal the crates. This is where you're gonna get some fragments for the Shipmind. So what you want to do is put in the 6, which I have right now. You probably have a higher roll. If you don't, then don't risk this, because this is missable. Because if you get a negative, you're not gonna get the achievement. So we got a 6. I'm going to go put in a 5, which is going to make it a 6. And I'm going to put in this 4, which is going to make it a 5. I wouldn't risk this. I would recommend just getting a 5 or a 6. Even though it did push it to a 5, I wouldn't risk it. But it did work. And you can see it right at the bottom. I did get 3 fragments of a Shipmind, as well as the loot boxes achievement. So we're going to back out. And we're going to use the last 2 for hacking, and then we're going to go to sleep. I did go up. The Founder's Cap is the next thing what we want to buy, which is going to gain access to the top part of the ship and the last part of the ship. So, and that's like $80 once we use the 20% off. Be using the 2 for the Solheim node, which is the story hacking, which I have mentioned before. But right when we use the final 2, we do have enough for Castor, seeing how we have 5 swords. If you have this already, you could just go straight to Castor. This is for a Stablizer. We are going to have to buy a Stablizer, but I'm just waiting till after we pay off Ethan's tab, as that's the only time when we're going to be having to use money. So we're going to put in our 5 swords for the Y business. Yatagan business. Probably said it wrong. That's the reason why I said Y. And then once we get to Stabilizer, what we're going to do is, you can see from Ethan, we have 1 more cycle. So we're going to be going over there by tomorrow. And we do have a shipment fragment. We have 3 shipment fragments, which is enough to build one. And once we build one, it does going to lead to an achievement. To this point, I didn't realize that I have 3. So I'm just thinking about buying things, but I don't have enough. So for the way to build the fragments, we go to the ORT exchange, which is like slightly bottom of Emphis and below the doctor. So what we need to do is that we need to put some action rules into it to open up the fragment building, the ORT fragmenter. I can't even say it. But besides that, we don't have enough, so I'm gonna go to sleep, as I am a bit rambling on. This is after I recorded everything, so that's the reason why it's a bit offy. We're gonna go straight into Easton's tab. We're going to pay off the debt. It should be $58. And once you pay it off, the dialogue box is gonna appear. We're just gonna go to the dialogue. And we're gonna get a upgrade point. We're not gonna upgrade anything because we need one more, as we're trying to get that 20%. But before we go into the ORT exchange, we're gonna go to Emphis stall. We're gonna eat. When we go to the ORT exchange, you could get this up by talking with the people here, which is the play the exchange, or you could sell part of your scrap to get that circle up. So I'm going to put in my 6 and a 5s. Then after this, we're just going to go right into hacking and find 2 for the 2 ones that I have here. Then we're just going to go to sleep. And like I said, it's mostly everything is due by your action rolls. If you get really lucky, you can speed through this game pretty fast. Once we get to the final for the other 2 playthroughs, they're just going to take an hour. But as I'm scrolling up and down on the ship, we're going to go back to our sleeping pod and go to sleep. When we do wake up, what we're going to do is that we're going to go up to the Overlook Bar. So I got a 4 and a 5s. We're going to go up to the Overlook Bar. This is where we got the plans from. And we're going to get the drinks. We're just going to pay 6 of our credits to fill out that bar. This is going to lock a mission for us that we're going to have to do. Then from this, go to the dialogue, just spam A. And then from this, we're going to go to the ORT exchange, which is further up. I did go right back into this and just show that's the mission we got to do, which is bar shift. But I'll do this at a later date. We're going to go to the ORT exchange. I'm going to put in the 5 to play the exchange. Of course, you can throw in scrap if you do have some scrap. Manage to get some scrap. I'm going to put in the 4. And then it's going to unlock it. So we're going to back out. And it's going to unlock the ORT Fabricator. We're going to go right into it. And if you have 3 Shipmind fragments, we can input them in. And it's going to build a Shipmind. This is going to unlock an achievement. You have to do this to progress in the story. But we're going to back out. Then we're going to go into our upgrades. As well, we got the achievement Mindcraft. We're going to go down to engage and get that 20% skill. Our next one's going to be into it. And we're going to get a drive really quickly. As we're going to go down to the overview bar. Into that sealed dock. Inside of it, we're going to give the Shipmind to Neovend. Once it goes through the action phase, we're going to back out and go right back into them. You see the little notification. Go inside of them, go through the dialog box, to spam A. He's going to make us go unlock some hunter hive spots. But once we get the upgrade point, we're going to get the achievement as well called Insert Mind. We're going to go to Intuit, and we're going to upgrade that. Approach problems with awareness. This is going to give us the negatives and positive outcomes before we get that +1. It did take a little bit. But what we're going to do once we back out, we're going to go for all 3 of the little hunter hives that they have around. So as you can see right just above us, I'm just going up and down. But right just above us is the server unit. We're going to go right into that server unit, which is that the server hunter unit. Right above the Overlook Bar. Did take a little bit. The sealed hunter nest, not hive. I don't know why I was saying hive, but the nest. We're going to go right inside of it. We're just going to put in a key. And then we're going to put in the virus shipmind, the infected shipmind that we have. So we're going to back out and go right back into it. And put it in. Then from this, we're going to go up. Right past Emphis' stall to the atrium. And we're going to put our key in, as well as the hive mind. And then we're going to go down. Right below where we sleep. So right when you put it in, we're just gonna go down to drone bay. It's right next to the ship bay. Put in our key as well as our hive mind. And once we finish this, it's going to put us into a dialog box. You can just spam A. And what we're going to do is that we're going to spend our 1 and 2 to go through the dialog. Not through the dialog box. We're going to use the 1 and 2 to go hacking. There's really no purpose. So we're just going to have to go to sleep. I'm just going up and down. Just trying to check stuff. Then we're going to go to sleep. When we wake up, I am going to go up where to Ethan's tab. As of right now, we should be halfway till he needs us again. So I do go check right now the compressor club. You can see that it's halfway. So we got like 2 more cycles until we have to speak with him again. But we're going to go up once my past self likes to get up there. We're going to go to the warrants, which is right next to the Derlick unit. We're going to go into the warrants. And here, what we're going to do is we're going to put the 6 into the warrant tracking. And then we're going to put the 5 into the warrant hunt. And this is for the Neovend guy. This is going to lead to his ending. But from here, what's going to happen is that we're going to put the 3 into the warrant hunt. Of course, it is a bit risky, but I managed to get it through. Of course, you can just wait till you get a higher one. But once you get it unlocked, we're going to go right into the core nest. And we're going to put in our Shipmind. If you don't have like a good roll to finish it off, just go to sleep and come back here. We're going to go right to the dialog box. You can just spam A. Really long dialog box. We're going to get an upgrade point. We're going to go right into the upgrades, and we're going to put it into it, and we're going to make that a +1. We're going to get everything up to a +1 before we start attacking the second phase. But from this, what we're going to do is go right into hacking, and we're just going to hack for the rest before going back to sleep. when we do wake up this time, I'm going to have 3 4s. And we're going to go up. We're going to go to Emphis because we are starving. We're going to get some of that fungus. Yummy. Then we're going to go up to the free spoke and we're going to go climb it. So just go further up. Past the Castor's table. Not past, but up the Ascender car. And right in the middle, right when we're right on it, is the AE1 Mainframe. We're going to interact with that, and we're going to put in the Shipmind that we have on us. Right when you put it in, what we're going to do, right when it's done, we're going to back out, and 3 things are going to pop out, as well as this dialog box. So just spam A, just go right through it. But once it's done, 3 areas is going to unlock, like 3 options are going to unlock. What we need to do is that we need 3 keys to interact with the thing that's in there through the AE branch. Since we don't have any keys at the moment, if you do, you could just interact with it. But we're going to hit Y. And 3 key nodes, which will unlock right when you put in that Shipmind, will unlock. And then start putting in these. If you do have enough, let's say you have the correct for all 3, or if you have the 3 keys, right when you get into it, it's gonna make us go through another dialog box, and they're gonna give us a key for a ending, which is right where that green area is to our right, which we're going to pay for to get across. As you can see, I put in 1 key from one of the keynotes, and it locks it out. But since I don't have enough for the other key nodes, we're gonna go down, descend, and this time we're gonna go all the way down to the bottom of the ship, to the shipyard, and we're gonna spend our last 2 4s in there, and then from there we're gonna go to sleep. I did like sit here thinking what to do next, but go right into the shipyard. I'm gonna do assist a shipbuilder. I'm gonna put in my 2 4s, and like I said, is go to sleep right after, and I will just meet you guys right when I wake up. From this, what we're going to do is once we wake up, we're going to back out. We're going to go up, and you're going to see that Ethan has now have a notification, a symbol. Go right into it. You can just spam A. Basically, what's going to happen is that he's going to try to shoot us, but due to the bartender taking away his bullets while he was knocked out, it's not going to do anything, and his gun's going to be taken away. Ethan's soon going to come back to us in a few cycles. He's going to appear at our house. So, and then at that point, we're going to have to work with him to pay off his debt. But that's going to be in a few cycles. From this point, what we're going to do is that we're going to go down, because we need a few scraps. So we're going to go to the scrap freighter on the right side. The reason why we need scraps is because we're going to put it into that Derlick unit for the last 2. That's going to unlock it. And we need to put a few action rules to actually finish it out. So we're going to go to the scrap freighter. We're going to buy some scrap. We only need 2. We're going to go unload some containers by using that 5 that I have, just to give us some more crypto, more money to put into for the scrap, as we're going to use that money to buy 2 more just to fill out that circle. So we could just wait to the next end, to the next rerun. We're going to go right into the Derlick unit, put in that 2 that we grabbed. That extra 1 we're going to sell off, so don't worry about it. So right when we put it in, we could go right back into the Derlick unit. And you can see that we're going to have to put in some action rules right into it. But before we do that, we're going to go right into hacking. We're going to put in our 2s, and then we're going to go into the Ort Exchange to sell out that last scrap. Looking at the footage, as of right now, I didn't really put in use of these 2s, so you can just go right into the Ort Exchange and start selling that scrap. So I am taking a little bit. I did think about going right to sleep, but just go right to the Ort Exchange and just sell off the scrap, and then go right to bed. Once we do wake up, what we're going to do is that we're going to go to the Overlook Bar. We're going to go to the Overlook Bar. We're going to put that 4 into the bar shift. That's going to make it to a 5. And once we finish this up, we're going to back out and we're going to go right into hacking. I'm going to put the 1 instead of here. And then from this, we're just going to go right back to sleep. And I'm going to use the Stabilizer that I have on me. That's going to push me up to stable so we can do a little bit more actions. I do not have enough money for the Stabilizer, but we are going to buy one really soon. So we're going to go to the empty container. Make sure you inject yourself of a Stabilizer before you go to sleep. We are going to go buy our Stabilizer really soon. Once we do get up, what we're going to do is back out. We're going to go up to the Overlook Bar. We're going to put our time into the bar shift, so we're going to put in our 6, the 5, and one of the 3s. Of course, you can have a better roll than me. But we're going to finish off the bar shift. And another 3. Right when you finish off the bar shift, we're going to back out and we're going to go right back into it as there is a notification for Talia. We're going to go through the dialog box. You can just spam A. But at this moment, you should have enough for a Stabilizer. Right when we're done with this dialogue, we're going to go right up to Sabine to go buy us a Stabilizer. The Overlook Bar, the thing that we need to do now is build the still, but we're not going to do that right now. We're going to go up to Sabine. Surgery. I'm going to buy the Stabilizer. It should be 80 now if you have that 20%. And once we back out, it's going to put us into a dialog box. You could just spam A, and it's going to give us a upgrade point. Now if you go up right past Emphis Bar, and underneath the Derlick unit, there should be a unit 207-F. Go inside of there, input the passkey that we got from buying the Stabilizer. Back out, and it's going to put us right into a dialog box to spam A. If you have at least of those swords from hacking, that's the reason I told you to keep hacking. If you have some of those swords, when we get to the dialog box, it's going to kick us right out. We could just go right back into it. But you want to have 3 of these Yatagan uploads. So look for the Y agents. And start putting them in. You just need 3. Soon, just go right through the dialogue. And right when you go through the dialogue, it's going to kick you right out. And there is a cycle that's going to go through. So we need to wait till 4 cycles until it unlocks. Once this cycle unlocks, it's going to make our Stabilizers even cheaper. We're going to go back to the Overlook Bar. And that one thing that I told you we're going to build up, I am going to put a 3 into there. You don't have to. You could just wait till you get a higher amount. I did risk it, but I managed to get a a neutral outcome. But after this, we're going to go to sleep. When we do get up, what we're going to do is make our way to the Overlook Bar once again. We're going to put the 6 into Build a Still, as well as the 4. The 4 is going to give me a negative. Hopefully not for you. I lost energy. That's going to ruin my health. So I'm going to go right up to Emphis' bar and eat. Right when we eat, I did skip it a little bit. Mostly because I didn't really do anything. I just went up to the spoke to see what keynotes I needed. Action rolls I needed. But mostly what you need to know what I did is I went to the upgrades and upgraded Engineer once. Not to +1, just to get that ability. And then I just went to sleep. I just went up to see what nodes, action rolls I needed, as I'm going to do it on this run right when we wake up. Once we back out, we are going to go up to the free spoke after a little bit of me going back and forth on the ship. Where we're going to go up to the free spoke, we're going to put in some of our action rolls and try to get those key nodes. So right when I get up to the Ascender car, we're going to go right into hacking. This is what I was doing before when I cut it out. Want to put that 6. Could be completely different, but eventually a dialogue box is going to go out. Just simply go through it. There's really no choices. It's just going to make you go through it. And then keep on going until you get all 3 keys. And then come right out of hacking. We're going to go to the AE branch 03 and keep on going to the branches until you get them all done. There's only 3 branches. And once you're done, just back out. They should disappear, and we're going to go to the AE1 Mainframe. And this time we're going to do loop branches, which is the interface on the right side, as it gives us the most, as well give us a lesser health if we get a negative. We're going to throw in the other 3 as my friend does pop up online. The only reason why I'm doing loop branches is because you get more for catch a killer than the other one, which is for slice hardware. So right when you finish up the 3, of course it is a bit ballsy, but what I did here, of course you can just wait till you get a bigger roll. But from here, we're just going to go and head to bed. When we wake up, we're going to head back up to the spoke. There's a few things we're going to do up there since we got a really good roll, which is the 2 6s to a 1 5 and 1 4. Of course, later on, we are going to get an ability, so if you do have a sucky roll, you can re-roll it for that day. But before we go up to the spoke, we're going to eat a little bit, because we are starving. As we go up, what we're going to do is go right into the AE mainframe. We're going to put the 6 into the loop branches, and this is going to max it out. As well, put us into a dialogue box. So you can just spam A. And what they're going to do is give us a seed, which is going to lead to one of its endings. We are going to do both of the endings in this one, so don't worry about it. There's only one ending, which makes us do 2 playthroughs, which sucks. But from this, you will get an upgrade point. What we're going to do is that we're going to put it into Engineer and make that a +1. From there, we're going to go into the hub, which you can see with the compass symbol on the right side. As once we go into it, what we're going to do is put our 6 into Access Manifest. We're going to put our 6, our 5, and our 4 into this one. And this is going to max it out, and this is going to unlock another person that we can speak to, which does lead to 2 more endings. But when we do the endings, you have to make sure you're going what I say when we get to that point, but that's a little bit further away. Once we max it out, you're going to see Bliss with the wrench right above the hub. We're going to go right into Bliss. We're going to go to the dialogue. Hit yes. Then after that, what we're going to do is just spam through A until you get to a point where it says approach the workbench. So head to the rack. My mistake. It's head to the rack, and then we're going to head to M2 converter. And once we hit M2 converter, we're going to spam A to go through that dialogue. And eventually what she's going to do is make you pay her 80 crypto for you to join her crew, which leads to 2 endings. But from there, what we're going to do is we're going to descend, and we're going to head to our home and go to sleep. Once we get up, what we're going to do is make our way up to the unit, that unit 207 with -F. So when you go up, you're going to see that there is a Sabine, the medical sign for the slum doctor. We're going to go right into it, and we're going to spam A. A character is going to appear, and just spam A. They're going to give us a stabilizer, so it's going to make our stabilizer go up to 2, unless you use your stabilizer and you just got an extra one. But from this, we're going to go into our upgrades and upgrade Endure. And then from this, I did create a small little cut, but we're going to go straight into the Overlook Bar, and we're going to build the steel. I did put 2 of my 6s right into it. Of course, you might have a 6 or not. And then I put my 2 3s in here. Don't do that. I just wasted my energy. Here, of course, you could get a good enough roll, and it probably will succeed. But I put in both of these, and even though they're 4s now, I got negative incomes, which made me starving and lose health. But we're going to go to Emphis, we're going to feed, and then we're going to go to sleep. Once we head into our home, you can see that there is a new option right where it says Endure, which is for sunbathing. This could allow you to get some energy. It's completely safe, so you can put in a 1 or 2 and you'll get energy back instead of going to Emphis and eating and using your crypto. But right when we back out, what we're going to do is that we're going to head right back to the Overlook Bar. I am taking a little bit. But right when we go to the Overlook Bar, we're going to build a still once again. We're going to put in the 5s. We're going to put in the 4. Really close, but this time, right when we back out, we're going to go into hacking. And we're going to find something we can hack with our 2s. And then from this, we're going to go right to bed. As you can see, there is a leaf icon right underneath that data. That's leading to an ending, and that unlocks right when we get into the next area. We could use that to unlock the ending. But before we go to bed, we're going to inject a stabilizer so we get that full energy, and then fully go to sleep. When we get up, Easton's going to appear here. We could just spam A and go to the dialogue. What he's going to do is ask us to help him pay for a debt, so we need to go to that bar that we saw him at and work there for a few times. So what we're going to do is go up, and eventually we're going to go up to the Compressor Club. And I did have a horrible roll, so what we're going to do is go to Emphis stall. We're going to eat some fungus, before we head right into the club. We're going to the compressor club. We're going to work the front. We're going to put a 6 into it. Work the front is the one most, which is mostly going to help us complete Eastern Set a lot faster. But right when we put in a 6, you probably have more, so you could put more into this. For the rest of these, since I have a horrible one, I'm just going to start hacking. I'm always going to be hacking when I have ones and twos, and possibly 3s. Since I won't find anything for 1, what I'm going to do is head up, because it won't let us go to sleep at the moment. We're going to head up. I am going to go to the empty container to go to sleep. It's not going to let me. We're going to have to go further up near the spoke, as Rabith, the character at the unit, is going to need us, want to talk to us. We're going to go to the dialogue, just spam A. And basically what they're going to do is ask us to do some things for them. So instead of doing that, what we're going to do is that we're just going to head to bed. That's just for later on. This is for another ending, but we're not going to do that just yet. As we go to sleep, you probably notice that there is a timer ticking right below before we go to bed. That's Maywick. He's going to be coming in a really long time for cycles, so we don't really have to worry about him. He's tied to Eason's debt, and we just have to work that. But before we do that, we're going to go to the Overlook Bar. We're going to finish building up the still, and we're going to go right into... It's going to kick us right out. We're going to go right back into Talia and just go to her dialogue box and hit A. I did speed through that. But right when we go right back into it, the last thing we need is spores for her, but that's unlocked in the next area. So at this moment, we're going to need some money. I did go right into Eason's debt. This is what we need to do to get Maywick off of our tail. We just need to work the front and fill out that circle. But since we do need money for the next area, we're going to go down to the shipyard. It's the last thing at the bottom. And what we're going to do is assist the shipbuilder and fill out that circle. This is the ending, which requires 3 playthroughs. This main playthrough and the other 2 playthroughs, which you could only focus on this while building yourself up. But mostly it will take like an hour. But right when you finish up the bar, I put in that 4, which turned into a 5. You're going to back out, and then Lemon and Mina is going to pop up. We're going to go right into Lemon and Mina. And what you can do is just spam A. There's really no point of speaking right here. Of choosing your choices right here. And right when you get out of it, it's going to unlock the unit assembly. And what we're going to do is that we're going to do system fitting, but since we have really low stuff, I'm gonna go to sleep. As once we wake up, our main focus is working that unit assembly. We're gonna do system fitting. Like I said, our goal is trying to earn some of that money to open up the next area, as putting in how much you can into the circle. Since I had a horrible roll, I only could put in 2. So we're going to back out. We're going to go eat, and then we're just going to go to sleep. No hacking for today. When we wake back up, we're going to go right back into systems fitting. So we do have 2 5s here. So when we put them in, they're going to go right to 6. And this is going to max that out. And it's going to put us right into another dialogue box. Don't worry about it. We are still going to make some money here right after we back out. Seeing how the system fit-in is safe, as you can see right below the action roll, I am going to put in my 3, my 2, which is going to turn into a 3. And it's going to give me some money and finish out the circle. It's going to put us into a dialogue box. We can just spam A through here. When you go to our other 2 dialogues, we are going to have to watch what we say here. But at this point, we're not trying to do that. So we're just going to go right to the dialogue. As if you had to watch what you're saying, what's going to happen is that you're going to miss on 2 endings. But right when the dialogue box is done, it's going to open up this new area called Lem and Mina's unit. Do not click into this. If you do, just back out. Because what it wants you to do is babysit Mina. We're not going to babysit Mina at all in this playthrough. So from this point, what we're going to do is that we're going to bed. When we get up, we're going to go right back down to the Sidereal Bridge, which is where the unit assembly was at. We're going to go right into it, and it's only going to be one option. We're going to put our 6s in there. You probably have more or a good or better roll than me, but I'm going to put these 2 6s that I have in here. And once I put in these 2 6s, I should have enough. Should be 80 credits is what you need. And all you have to do is make your way all the way up to the top. But before we do that, we're going to go right down to Emphis' place, the Emphis stall. We're going to eat some food because we are starving, just in case I forget. Or we're going to go right past the spoke, the free spoke, and we're going to go to the Founders Gap, which is all the way to the top. We're going to pay for the passage, which is the 80 credits. And we're going to go across. Once we go across, a dialogue box is going to happen. We're going to go right through the dialogue, just spam A. And then from this, what we're going to do is scroll up even more. And the wild margins is what we need to clear out. I don't do it on this run, but that HIFA right underneath the wild margins, if you have like a 1 and 2, it's safe on the left side. Put it in. I go to sleep right here. But just to save you some time, I am going to do it on my next run right when I wake up. As once we wake up, what I'm going to do is back out, and we're going to go all the way up to the top, go to the Founders Gap, go to the Greenway. We're going to go to the wild margins, put in our 4. And the other 4. And you can see that we have 2 1s left over. And then once we back out, like I told you before, I for some reason went back into it. But we're going to go right into the HIFA commune. This is what I told you to go into. It's completely safe on the left side and on the right side, so you can just put your 1s in here and you can get that number up. This is going to help us with growing some of our stuff, as well lead us to an ending. But from this, what we're going to do is go back down and head back to sleep. When we wake back up, what we're going to do is head right back over to the Founders Gap, which you already know exactly. But before we go up there, we're going to go to Emphis' bar. We're going to have to eat a bit because we are starving. I don't want to use any of the action rolls just yet to get our energy back. But we're going to make our way across the Founders Gap, and we're going to head right over to the Wild Margins. I overlapped it and it went into the Waste, and I just had to go back down. We're going to put in our 4, and then one of the 3s. That's going to unlock it, and that's going to unlock the Anikhita, can you say it? The mercenary from before. And just back out, go right into that notification and spam A. And basically, she's going to take a few cycles, and eventually she's going to give us $200 or crypto. So basically, we're done with her until like a few more cycles. Now we're going to go right into the Hiffa commune and put in our 3 and a 2. And then from this, what we're going to do is go to sleep. I'm going to take note right when we wake up. We're going to go to Ethan's bar. We're going to put time in, but I am going to show you this first. Once we get up, I did head over to the Founders Gap to show you that we only have to wait 2 cycles before we get the money. I didn't do the Hippo commune on this one, but I went to the Ambergris, which is all at the top, where it says Anikhita is away. We just need 2 cycles. From that, we're going to go right back down, and we're just going to go start working on Ethan's thing, just to get it out of the way, so we don't have to worry about Maywick coming to us. So we're going to go to the Compressors Bar, and we're going to go work the front. Put my 5 in. If you have a low action roll, don't put it into the work the front. You're just going to get a negative. But go put it to the Hippo commune. I should have said it earlier. I apologize. But right when you're done with that, with the Hippo commune, and done with all your action rolls, just head right back home and go to sleep. And we're going to put a Stablizer in. Once we wake up, we're going to go to Ethan at the bar. We're going to go work some of his debt off. We'll put in the 5 4 4s. I mean, the 1 5 and the 2 4s. And right after this, we're going to go to the Hippo commune and put in our 2 and 1s. So after we finish this one, we're going to back out, head right over the Founders Gap into the Greenway, and put in the 2 and the 1 in the Hippo commune. Just like I said before, to do so if you had a low number, because it's completely safe. You shouldn't really get any negatives, unsafe things. The only risky and dangerous is when you get negatives. Then from this, what we're going to do is head back down, and we're going to go right to sleep. Okay, so this is going to be quite lengthy, as we're going to finish Ethan's path right here. So right when we get out, you want to make sure you at least have 1 high circle. I mean, 1 high action roll, like a 6. And we're going to head right to Ethan's bar. Put in anything you can to finish up the circle. At least have 1 6 in front of you. As once you finish the circle, he's going to ask you to go grab his gun. What you want to do is grab the gun successfully. So we're going to back out and then go right back into the club. And we're going to put in our 6. So grab the gun successfully. Once he gets the gun successfully, Maywick is going to appear. And a whole dialogue box is going to go through. And once that happens, we're going to get an upgrade point as well a achievement. Just spam A. It doesn't matter about what you choose. And you're gonna get for a few more. With that upgrade, we're gonna put it into Endure for +1, and now we're gonna move into the upgrade points of the last 4. From this point, what we're going to do is make our way up to the Greenway over the Founder's Gap. We're going to put our time into the Hippo Commune. So I'm going to put it in the 3, which makes it a 4. This is going to complete it. From this completion, we're going to unlock Rico, as well as an apartment. So you can see right there above us, the house. We can sleep here now. You should also have gotten an achievement called Communist. But what we're going to do is that we're going to go speak to Rico. Speaking of Rico, this is going to lead to the ending with the robot. We need to do some of her tasks before we could do that. So we're going to spam A to go through her dialogue. She's going to ask for some spores, which we're going to have to unlock from down below. But from this, we're going to go up as our lovely mercenary needs to speak to us. You can see with the sword, I haven't seen it just yet, but we're going to have to mess with the Greenway. That's what we need to mess with to unlock us planting stuff for Emphis and for her. But once we go back to our mercenary friend, who's right there at the top, we could just spam A. We could keep spamming A until we get to the point where it says take the chips or leave the chips. We're going to take the chips because she offered us, and we're going to need it for later on, as we could just get stabilizers. We're going to take the chips. At this point, we don't really need money for anything else besides the stabilizers, and it should give us the achievement, The Bad End. From this point, I did go down to the Greenway. Don't mess with this. I did have like low stuff. I did put my 2 in here and risk it. It is risky. So I could have got a negative. But luckily it didn't. I got 2. Don't risk it until you get a higher one. But we're going to go right down to the Founder's Fury over the Founder's Gap. And what I went and done is buy me a stabilizer for future stuff. I'm over here just looking for it or trying to get over to it. We're going to buy a stabilizer. Eventually, once we get further into one of the characters, we won't be able to buy it, and we're going to have to grow it. But we're going to go back home and go to sleep. Once we get up, we're going to go to a dialogue box. Just spam A until you get out of it. We're going to back out, and we're going to go speak to Feng. It's right below us. I mean, not below us, but to the side of us. We're going to go to Feng's Bay. This is the guy I told you to avoid, and we're going to do it now since we completed Ethan. Early on, when I told you to go do some hacking, you should have already done this already. This is for the solheim data. But once we have it completed, we're going to back out. His notification is going to pop up. We're going to go right into it and just spam A until it's done. As once it's done, what we're going to do is that we're going to go right up to the Derlick unit, the one unit that we've been putting scrap into, as we're going to finish it out. Going right into the Derlick unit, I'm going to put in my 6 and my 2 4s. I did forget that we already have 2 upgrade points at this point, and what we're going to do is that we're going to put it into the upgrade part that says that we could reroll per day. So right when I've put in the last 4, which turns into a 5, we're gonna back out, go into my upgrades menu, which is from RB, and we're gonna put it into Intuit, which is instant karma. on the right side. Re-roll all of your dice once per cycle. So if you have a sucky roll, you could re-roll it. And once we get out, we're going to re-roll with the left click of the joystick, and it turns into a 5. We're going to go right back into the Derlick unit, and we're going to complete it, and it's going to give us a achievement. Back out. Got an upgrade point, as well as the achievement called Squatter's Rights. From this, we're going to go right back into the repair unit, and we're going to go to sleep. When we wake up, what we're going to do is we're going to back out, and we're going to go to Emphis Bar. It's slightly down below us. And from this, what we're going to do is re-roll our dice. And we're going to head right over the Founder's Gap. And we're going to interact with the Greenway. Not the farm stacks. I did go right into the farm stacks. This is a way to give us some energy as well as some money. But we're not going to do that yet. So we're going to go right into the Greenway. And from the Greenway, we're going to map the pathways. We're going to put in the 5, which turns into the 6, as well as the other 5. And this is going to unlock another thing. So we're going to back out. And you can see that there's mushroom groves and the Aviary. The Aviary, I probably said it wrong. We're going to go into the Aviary. And what we're going to do is put in our action skills. It's safe, so you can put it in your lowest one. I didn't put in the 2. Please put in the 2. It's safe. I just wasted a skill actual. And what I did is I went up to the Hippodorm and went to sleep. This will save you like a few seconds. At this point, what we're going to do is start growing stuff and grabbing stuff for characters around the map, like Emphis and Rico. I did go into the mushroom groves. I'm not going into there. Go to the Aviary, as we was doing before. And we're going to start putting in... I have like a bunch of 4s in here, so they're just going to be a bunch of 5s. So put them all in. Of course, if you have a sucky roll, just re-roll it. And at this point, what's going to happen is that it's going to complete it. So we just need to wait a little bit. But while we're waiting, I'm going to go to bed. When we get up, what we're going to be doing is going to mushroom groves. What we're going to do is collect some spores. Make sure you have 4 of these. I did put in this 4, which turned into a 5, and it did give me like 2. You want to get 4. And then I put a 6 into the forge for fungus. This pushed that up to a 3, which you can see the mushroom caps turned into a 3 now. Go throw in another one, so push that 3 in there, or you could just re-roll and get a higher one. You want to get that up to a 4. I went up to the Aviary, and you need 3 of those spores to have them grow up. Because you're trying to grow some plants in there. So I'm going to head right back into the mushroom grove. I'm going to put in that 3, which turns into a 4. It's going to give me 2 more, and we're going to go right back into the Aviary. Put in those 3. And after we put in those 3, a timer is going to happen. So what we're going to do is go down. Since we have 3 caps, of those mushroom caps, we're going to go to Emphis' stall. Don't turn them in just yet. Make sure you eat first. So put in the crypto before you give them those caps, because if you give them the caps, what's going to do is it's going to lock you out until the cycle is done. So right when you give it, you can see that the timer has started. From this, what we're going to do is that we're going to go right into hacking. And we're going to make our way down to the ship bay. You're gonna see that circle right there. I did start hacking this one for the H agent. You don't have to do this. But we want to go into that circle. It's not going to require any action rules. But what we're going to do, it does take me a little bit because I'm just going back and forth. But go right into the circle. You want to put in that thing that Feng gives you. And then back out. 2 circles should appear right next to it. Go right into it and put in another thing that Feng has gave you. And right when you do that, get out of the hacking, and you can see that Feng has now have a cycle right next to it. Right next to, on his house, on his base. We have to wait for a few cycles. It's 3 cycles. Until he gives us another one, and we're going to go put it in that 2 circles. We're going to go right back to sleep. When we wake up, what we're going to do is head back over to the other side, to the greenery. We're going to go into the mushroom groves. From the mushroom groves, what we're going to do is collect spores. We want to at least collect 3. Matter of fact, you want to collect 6 because we do need it for Tala at the Overlook Bar. But at this point, I am going to grab 3 and then go turn it into Rico, which is at the Hiffa Labs. I gave her the 3. And that's going to put us right into a dialogue box. So go right back into Rico. And you can just spam A. At this point, she's going to be asking for the caps or mushroom caps or stuff from the Avery once it gets fully grown, which is the Masuke samples. Probably said it wrong. But it's the stuff from the Avery, or you can get the mushroom caps. And it's going to fill out either which one you put it in. We'll fill out that circle at the bottom. But we're going to go right back into the mushroom caps, mushroom groves. We're going to grab some more spores. We're going to need 3 more, and we're going to go right back to the Overlook Bar. Once you have your 3, either if you have to go to sleep and get more action rolls, or if you got it already, we're going to make your way to the Overlook Bar. I keep looking at my action points. I feel like I had another one. I only have 1 upgrade point at the moment. But we're going to go to the Overlook Bar, like I said before. We're going to give these spores to Tala. It's only 3. As once you give all 3 spores to her, a cycle timer is going to appear. And you just have to wait it out. And once it's done, of course you can still work at the bar. But once it's done, you'll be done with her story and you'll get an upgrade point. From here, we're going to go right to sleep. As we get up, there's really nothing important on this day. I was trying to get energy, so I went to the Overlook Bar and worked the shift. I thought it was going to give me energy that way, because it did before. But that was before we built the stall. But it just gave me money. So what we're going to do is that I went up to the free spoke, because at the point Emphis is not giving out any food. So I just went up to the hub, run up to the free spoke, went into the gimbal lounge, because I could get it right into the middle. I just had it. I'm gonna eat some spacer food, spacer meal. Of course, we could have just went to our bedroom and just did the action rolls there, since it is a horrible thing. A horrible roll. Of course, I could just re-rolled, but I wasn't thinking at this moment, and I just went to go spend money. So I'm gonna head back to sleep, and we're gonna have a lot of things we're gonna have to do tomorrow. Once we wake up, what we're going to do is not speak to Feng just yet. We're going to go down to the shipyard and go into the Sidereal Bridge. We're going to put in the 5 and the 4, and then we're going to reroll. And once we rerolled, we're going to get a 5, so it's going to become a 6. Then from this point, we're going to go speak up to Feng. And it's going to put us into a dialogue box. We're going to spam A. Basically, Feng is going to go right into hiding. And it's going to give us a upgrade point. We're still not done with the story, because his story ends once he goes to the Greenway. We're gonna get an upgrade point, as well as a timer on his thing, so we can't progress the story until that timer's up. But we're gonna go into our upgrade thing and go into the interference or interface, and we're gonna get that 2nd level out of the way. Don't go into this. I was just trying to figure out what to do next. I honestly blanked a little bit as I just went back and forth between the Sidereal Bridge. When at this point, Emphis should be done, and you can see his notification. It won't let you go to sleep until you go through his stuff. So go to his dialogue box. You could just spam A, or you could, of course, just read it. But at this point, you can now buy stuff from his stall, and he's going to need some of those caps from the Aviary, which is right in the Greenery, which we are going to go over there and sleep at. We need one more cycle before we can interact with those caps. So we're going to go right into the Hippodorm, take a Stablizer, and then we're going to go right to sleep. We're going to have that full energy when we take on the next thing. When we get up, what we're going to do is back out, and we're going to go right into the Aviary. Of course, we're going to put in the 6 and the 2 4s. With this, we should have 3 of those caps, those mushroom caps. And we're going to get an achievement as well as a upgrade point. The achievement is called Spore Capture. But from here, we're going to go right into the mushroom grows. Of course, reroll. I did not reroll. I honestly forgot about rerolling. I just risked it with putting in a 2. And I just lost energy. But instead of getting into Rico, I just rerolled right now and still got a 2. Instead of going to Rico, which is the Hiffle Labs, and seeing how we only have 3, I'm going to go right back to Emphis because he only needs 2. And this would speed up the time just to get his stuff out of the way. So go to Emphis' stall. Of course, you can eat if you want to, but we're going to give him those mushrooms that we got, the caps, and the cycle is going to start up, and we're going to head back to the Greenery, and we're going to go to sleep. Before we do go to sleep, I honestly forgot about this. Since we do have that 2, we're going to put it right into that perk that we have to sunbathe, and this is going to give us some energy back. Since it's safe, we're not going to get any negatives, but once we do that, we're going to go right to sleep, so we're going to have full energy once we get up. When we get up, what we're going to do is head over to the mushroom grows. We're gonna grab some spores. And put in our 6. We got a really good roll, shockingly. We're gonna get some of those spores. Start working on it. Get some more spores, because we do need at least 3, because we're gonna repopulate the aviary. And then we're gonna go to fungus, which is on the right side. We're gonna do it one more time. And then from here, we're gonna go right to the aviary. Did reroll, got a 3. Repopulate the aviary. Gonna do that 3 times, because we do need some caps. From here, what we're going to do is go back to Rico, which is in the Hiffa Labs. We're gonna give her that 1 sample of the Masuke, and we're gonna give her the spores, the fungus that we have, which is the, I was gonna say the fungus. You should only have like 2. If you have more, you could just give her more, but it's filling out the circle at the bottom. From here, what we're going to do is that we're gonna go down below. And what I was trying to do is I was trying to see how much time that I had for the Overlook Bar as well as Feng. So at this moment, we're gonna go put our 3, if you just have a 3 or a random number, a low number, we're gonna put it right into our sunbathe so we're not hungry, and then we're gonna go to sleep. Once we wake up, we still got 1 more cycle for Feng as well as the Overlook Bar. As you can see right there, I did go past it really quickly. But what we need to do is go to Raba's office, as I was just over it. But I did go to Founder's Fury. I tried to get in some of those fungus items. I was putting in my 6. I was putting in my 4s right into the fungus. It was just giving me energy. I did it again. And just kept giving me energy. Don't risk it on this. It's best to just go to Rabbi. Because at this point, we just need to get spores and just keep refilling the aviary. And that's the only way we're going to have to finish the circle. So Rabba is right above Lemon Minas, as well as the repaired unit. I was just checking some things, what I needed to do. But we're going to go to Rabbi's. I'm probably saying it wrong. It's right above the Castor stable. We're going to patrol the ward. Put in the 6. Our goal is to finish out the circle. I did put in 3 here. I should have just re-rolled. And I did, at least I did get 1. From here, what I did is that I just went to sleep. Right when we wake up, we do have a lot of things we're going to have to do here. Quite lengthy, so we're going to have to follow along. Right when we back out, we're going to go to Feng's base, and it should be named Harden now. We're going to speed through the dialogue, so just spam A. And we're going to get a cereal box. From this, we're going to go to the Overlook Bar. Because Talia should be done, and we're going to be done with her storyline. And we're going to get an achievement called Fruity Spirit and an upgrade point. We're almost getting close to the end of this run. But from this, as you can see, it popped. We're going to go up to the tea house, which is right next to Emphis' stall. But right when we pull up the upgrade points, the upgrade chart, we're going to go to Endure, and we're going to upgrade Hard to Kill. Or you could just upgrade Engineer. There's really no point. As we got everything what we really needed. We're gonna go to Emphis because he's done with his, and we're gonna get an achievement from him as we're done with storyline. Just spam A. And we're gonna get the achievement, which is the Story Eater. And what I said about the tea house, it's right above Emphis' stall. It's right underneath our housing unit. See the Tambour tea house. And we want to hand in the gun box. That's what we get from Feng's base. And Feng is gonna be here. He's gonna be working here, hiding undercover. Just spam A. And I am going to cut this a little bit because what I originally thought is that you're supposed to hack. You're not supposed to hack. Just to save you time and me time as well, because I did spend like a good 5 minutes looking for things to hack. You want to go to the main place. It's that one place with the knife and the fork, right next to our unit. As I am gonna skip to it in a second, because I was just figuring out what to do. Yep, there you go. I skipped it. It's right here. You can see it's yellow. Ming Jing Express. And what we're going to do is do express delivery. Of course, you would have a lot more due to this. And put it right into this. And then we're just going to go to sleep. Because I hacked before this. And we're just going to fill out the circle. So just head right back to bed. Of course, you will have it completed. So just skip a few seconds because I will be going back to it. Okay, once we go back, we're going to go right back into it, like I said before. The Mangling Express. Mangji Express. We're going to upgrade it. We're going to finish the circle. And right when we finish the circle, we're going to back out. And it's going to put us into a dialog box. Go through the dialog box, and now we could go into hacking. We only need to hack 2 subjects. So, go right into hacking. As you can see right at the top left, it says Hack Hardened Agents. Don't go to rabbis just yet. We are going to do that very soon. But go into hacking. You can see that they're triangles. But look for the hardened agents, not the Y agents, the H agents. H for hot dog. Hack them. And right when you hack them, we're going to back out. And you're going to see those 2 circles. From the 2 circles, it should be an object that Feng has gave you. So we're going to put in that Ripper Worm. And then find another person. Another hardened agent. You only have to do 2 of these. Luckily. And once you put this in and do the Ripper for this agent as well, we're going to go speak to Feng. And once we speak to Feng, he's going to go to the greenery. And we have to wait out a whole cycle. I was just checking the ship and see if there was any more. But you only have to do 2. Just spam A to go through his dialogue. And from this point, we're going to get a upgrade point. And we're going to go right into RB to our upgrade. And we're going to hit the self-repair, which is for the engineer. From this point, we're going to go up to the past the Founder's Gap. Of course, you can see we need 1 more cycle for the Avery, and then for the service dock, we need 6 cycles until he's ready for us. At this point, what you want to do before we do go to sleep, go buy stabilizers as you need. Feng only needs like 80 to 100 crypto because we need to buy into one of his things that he needs, which is the greenery. But right when we wake up, we're going to harvest the mushrooms from the aviary. Did give her some of my samples. I don't know why I stopped. I could have kept going. I thought I was gonna complete it. Just keep on going until you actually finish it out for the aviary. But once you give her everything, right when you finish it off, I keep going back and forth. But right when you finish the next thing off and we speak to her again, make sure you buy the stabilizers that you need because it's going to stop you from buying them and you could grow them now. So, right after this is done, of course I didn't have a stabilizer. She is going to give you one. But we're going to go right back into the Emphis labs. You should have clubhead samples. There's no way you could get rid of them to anyone else. It's only strictly for her. So just give it to her. And you should get an achievement. After you finish speaking back to her, to Rico. And it should say grow your own, as well as giving you an upgrade point. You can see that the stabilizer synthesis, you need 2 of those clubs. The only way you could get those, the clubs, are from the aviaries. So, from here, what we're going to do, since we have to wait it out, we're just going to go to our dorm and go to sleep. Of course, my past self is trying to figure out what to do next to wait out the time. What I did is that I went to that leafy plant circle, which is right there at the bottom, which is called farm stacks. I did re-roll, which gave me a 6. And what I did was steal the food, which is still the harvest, which gave me a bunch of energy, and then I finally went to sleep. Once we wake up, since we have a bunch of wait-in time, what we're going to do is make our way across the Founder's Camp. I'm just going to go to Rabbi's office. Pass the center car of the smoke, and it should be the first thing you come across, which is the Rabbi's office, right above the Castor's table, and Lemon Mina's unit. What we're going to do is patrol the ward. Put in my 5. As well as my 3. And then from here, what we're going to do is that we're just going to go to sleep. Our next thing is right when you wake up, we're just going to go down to the Sidereal, which is right where the shipyard was, which is at the bottom of the ship. We're going to fill out that circle first, just to get that Lemon Mina unit out of the way. So we're just going to go down to the Sidereal Bridge. We're going to start filling out the circle. From here, what we're going to do is back out, and we're going to go to sleep. When we wake up, what we're going to do is we're going to go straight to the Sidereal Bridge, put in the 5 and the 4, and then we're going to head to Emphis' stall to eat, and then we're going to put a stabilizer into ourselves to get us that full bar that we need. So back out, scroll all the way to Emphis' stall because we're hungry. Eat. course, I could have just saved on money, but since we have a lot of it, I'm not really worried about it. And then I'm going to inject the stabilizer, and then we're going to go to sleep. We are going to get 2 stabilizers once we do Rabbi's office. We're at the 2-hour mark, and we only have 45 minutes left. We're going to head back to the Sidereal Bridge, and what we're going to do is put in our 4, which turns into a 5. And we're going to put in, we're going to re-roll. We're going to put in our 2 6s. And that's going to leave us with 1 more. We're going to put it in our 2. It is a bit risky. Of course, you can just go to sleep and come back here. But I did get it completed. Right when we back out, a dialogue box is going to happen. Skip through the dialogue box, and we're going to get a dry failed. The dry failed does not babysit the meta, which is going to lead us to the 2 endings which we need. Babysitting meta is going to lead to the 2 playthroughs that we need to do, because there's only 2 ways to get it. I mean, 1 way to getting those 2 endings, and that's babysitting meta. From this point forward, what we're going to do is go over to the Founder's Gap. As Feng at this moment needs 1 more cycle, so what we're going to do is sleep right over there. And what we're going to do is dedicate most of our time here. So since I have the 2 left over, I'm going to put it into the sunbathe. And what we're going to do is spend most of our time with Feng for this mission, because we are timed on this. Once we get up, what we're going to do is go straight to Feng and go speak to him. It's going to pull up this dialogue box. Just spam through A until it gets us out of it. I do have a really good roll right there at the top, as we are going to need it. From this point, what we're going to do is go into our hacking. We're going to go into the Lowend Gate and go into it with the cipher. With this dialogue box, we're going to go right through it. Just keep on spamming A. And what's going to happen is that we have to go further up, and we're going to go to the Conway access. We're going to put the Ripper Worm into it. We're going to back out. It's going to open up a few more options as well as this dialogue box. Go through it, and it's going to open up this diamond, which is the consent F1. It's going to be a bunch of consents, and we have to match this up. Of course, it's required a 3, so I had to re-roll to put that in. Of course, it could be different for you. Soon we get hacked through that, we're going to have to put in another Ripper Worm, and 2 more are going to open up. It's going to increase every Ripper Worm that we have to put through, and we have to hack all these consents. Of course, if you don't have the right one, we're going to have to go to sleep. As our time for this, we cannot change the path, so we're going to go. So we're going to go right back to sleep, and then we're going to go right back at it again. But before we do, use whatever you have left onto your sunbathe to get some of that energy back into you. Once we wait back up, we're going to leave and go right back up there. Keep on going with the Ripper Worm. And keep on doing those consents. Once we put into the Zipper Worm, we're done with Feng's storyline, so we don't have to worry about him anymore. So we're just going to skip through this dialogue box. And after this dialogue box, it's going to open up a area right next to Rico, and this is going to lead into the 2 endings. Of course, you're going to have to watch what we say once we go into it, as if you say the wrong thing, you're going to have to do a whole different playthrough, a whole nother playthrough. And we don't want to do that. We want to limit how many playthroughs you have to do. So what we're going to do is that we're going to go past the Hippo Labs, and you're going to see that it says Rico's Grow Beds. We're going to go right into the Rico's Grow Beds, and we're going to input the plant seed. This is what you got from the robot. Way up on the spoke. From here, we're going to have to wait a few cycles for that to happen. So while we're waiting, what we're going to do, of course, I'm just checking my notes. We're going to go to the mushroom grows, and we're going to get some spores, because we need to get some stabilizers going for us. So we're going to get some spores right here on the left side. Grab our 6. The reason I didn't put them, the only reason I didn't put the spores into the Avery is because we at least need 1 action roll. I didn't finish it off yet. So we're just going to head to sleep and get refilled up. When we wake up, I'm going to go finish up grabbing the stuff from the Avery, which does give me a few more of those caps. Those club heads. So I'm going to harvest the mushrooms with my 5, which waited to go to a 6. And from here, what we're going to do, since you can see at the bottom, I have 2 club heads. We're going to go to Hippo's Labs, which is right above it. We're going to interact with it, and it's going to give us a stabilizer. And with that in mind, we're going to go right down down to the ship bay. I didn't do it here. Make sure you do refill your spores. I do it at a later time. So refill your stuff at the Avery, so we could just get some more of your club heads. But right when you make it across, what happens is that since I'm a bit starving at the moment, I'm gonna go to Emphis' stall. We're gonna eat, and then we're gonna go down a little bit more, because there's going to be, the timer is already over for the ship to come, and Lemon Mina needs to speak to us. This is for the lottery storyline. And just spam A. We're gonna get a dry failed. This is always gonna happen, and we need to find a way to get onto a ship. So from that point, once we get the dry failed, we're gonna head up to Rabbish office, and we're just gonna patrol. We're gonna patrol the ward. We're gonna put in that 3, and once we put in the 3, which when it goes to a 5, it's gonna make us go halfway. And when we back out, a dialogue box is going to appear. We're gonna go through We're gonna go through that dialogue box, and then we're gonna head to bed. I honestly forgot that Feng has one more thing before he's actually done. It's just him going to go speak to him. As once we get out of here, as you probably saw the timer above his base. So right when we back out, we're just going to hit the rabbis. Of course, re-roll if you don't have a good enough stuff for you. Of course, I didn't really do anything. All I did was just push my 4 up to a 5. But I pushed that 5 into collect the tips. Of course, you could just do patrol the roll. It doesn't matter. It's still going to push that circle up. From here, what we're going to do is that we're going to go downwards to Feng. Once you go through this dialogue box, now we're actually going to be done. He's going to give us an upgrade point. There's no achievement tied to talking to him, but you have to speak to him because it won't give you the it won't let you go to sleep. So we're going to go into an upgrade point. We're going to put it into engineer because that's going to be one of the last things we're going to do on this run. So from here, what we're going to do is, if you could go down a bit further, you're going to see that there is a timer for the ship to come into dock. So we need at least 2 more cycles, and we're going to steal some data off that dock. But before we do that, what we're going to do is go to bed. Once we wake up, I did skip it because I did scroll up and down on ship a little bit. So once we wake up and we back out, we're just going to go to the rabbi's office. And you could choose whatever each one. It doesn't matter, but we're going to get it done. But in my 5 and my 6, it's not going to complete it, so we're just going to go straight to bed. And in our next day, we're going to have it completed. When you do get up, what we're going to do is go to Rabbi's office, but just in case, I did go across to the greenery. I was just trying to see when the timer's done. I have 4 more cycles until we could get to that ending. So I just went back just to save time. Like I said, you could just go to Rabbi's office and start working on it. As once we went into it, I put in my 6 as well as the 3. And then I re-rolled. Then I re-rolled, and then I put in the 3. And once we back out, a little sign's gonna pop up right above it. Just go right into it, and just go right through the dialogue. Just keep on spamming A. And right when we're done with this dialogue, what we're going to do is go right up the spoke, as this place is going to have a cycle timer. So we have a bit of time to go do stuff. So from this, what we're going to do is go right up to the spoke. I do take a little bit, just checking everything. As we are getting close to the ending. At this point, we're just wrapping everything up, making sure everything comes up with a bow. As once we start going through the endings, everything should be closing really quickly. So go up to the spoke, and we're gonna go up to Bliss's Bay. Should be the one with the arrow, and we're gonna give her some money. This is going to unlock her section as well as her endings. And this is going to give us an achievement called Bay View. Of course, due to giving her money, we have to wait 3 cycles. So, of course, due to waiting, we're going to go to the Sidereal dock, which is all the way on the left. We're going to go to the Sidereal dock, and we're going to scout out the dock. I put it in the 6. Of course, it's not going to complete it. So, due to having a bit of time, we're just going to buy the house that's up here. And we're going to rent out a capsule. Once you rent it, you have to back out, and then you could go right back into it, and then we're going to sleep. Once we wake up, what we're going to do is head back over to the side dock, the Sidereal dock. Once we go into it, what we're going to do is put in our 4, which turns into a 5, and then we're going to re-roll. We're going to put that 4 right into it, and this is going to complete it. Once we back out, Castor is going to be here, and what we're going to do is just spam A. Right when we spam A, what we're going to do is head back to our capsule. We're gonna put a stabilizer into us, as we're going to need all of our action rolls to steal the data off the sealer's ship that I spoke about earlier. We're gonna head to sleep, and we're gonna make our way down the spoke. Once I wake up, of course, I did re-roll. I didn't like the action rolls that I had. And you can see right at the bottom, the Celia ship should be here after the timer is gone. Of course, first what we're going to do, since we have a high one, we want to have 6s for this. It only works once. We're going to bluff past security, and it's going to exit out. Once that happens, what we're going to do is put 6 onto observe and explore. I didn't realize I was on the first one. So I'm going to put my 3 into the 4. Make sure you do have really good rolls, because you only can mess up 3 times. Once you have it maxed out, back out, and you can see the servers is there. So what we're going to do is go to sleep, because we need at least 1 really good roll. So we're going to aim for a 6. So we got a 6 right away. What's going to happen is that person that we bought before, which is right on the spoke, brought someone down to get us. So just spam A. We're going to get to them soon. So we're just going to go right back to the Sealer's servers, extract the Sealer's data. I put in our 6 or our 5. We're going to back out. Of course, I'm just checking that I did it correctly. Once you extract it, what we're going to do is go up, and you should see Castor. Say, will this work? Hand it over. What is it? Whatever you need to do. And once you get what do you need to do, you're going to get an achievement called the running game. And from this point, what we have to do is, at the spoke, we just have to wait up that timer. But before we go up to the spoke, Rabif or Rabbi, keep saying his name wrong, his notification should pop up. We have to speak to him, because it won't let us go to sleep until we do speak to him. And you can just spam A. Once the dialogue is over, Yannick area is going to unlock, and we have to go through his dialogue. Go through his, as you can see, if you go down, see Yannick's ward, we have to do this, and once we do this, we're going to get 2 stabilizers. Correction, it's going to be 3 stabilizers. As once we go through this, make sure you do put in high action rolls for this, because it will make it go a heck of a lot faster. As once I put in that 3, I'm going to re-roll, and I'm going to get a high number right here with a 5. And once we put in here, I am like really close just by 1. So at this point, we're just going to head to bed. As once we wake up, we're just going to finish it off. So go right into Yannick's ward. Make sure you keep a 6, because we're going to stop the relay. So we're going to back out. The dialog box is going to appear. Just spam A to go right through it. And what happened is that it's going to be slightly in the back. It's going to be Yannick's office. And it's going to say find the relay. We're going to put a 6 in here. Or 5. It's going to push it up to a 6. But you want to have a 6 in here to be 100%. Once it's done, and the relay is located, a dialog box is going to appear. You can just spam A. We're not going to get our stabilizers just yet, as we have to wait out the timer at Rabis. But we are going to get an achievement called Remote Control. Stop the signal. From this point, what we're going to do is make our way across the Founder's Gap into the Greenway. And at this point, Rico should be able to, you should be able to speak to Rico. This is where the ending is going to be. Once we go to the dialogue, and it goes all gray, so you can just spam it until it goes all gray. This is where the ending is going to be, and you have to watch what you're saying. So just keep on saying keep on spamming A until it gets to the point as it keeps on going. Just say break the thread or follow the thread. Just keep on going real slow as it says, now is the moment to choose. What we're going to do is break the thread and then break it again. Once we break it, the game is going to end and we can hit continue. And it should give you the first ending called Grow Vast. We're going to hit continue. It's going to bring you to the main menu. We're going to hit continue and continue on our first playthrough. This is the one that we can make mistakes on, and that's fine. Because it just progresses, it just resets to the checkpoint. From this point, what we're going to do is go back to Rico. It's going to replay the whole section again. It's going to go back to the last checkpoint. So what we're going to do is go across. We're going to speak to Rico again. Go through her dialogue again, and this time we're going to follow the thread. So just spam A until we get to that point again. Of course, you can say the same option. It's going to take you right back to the beginning. If you didn't do break the thread first and you hit follow the thread, you would have to do another playthrough. But since we hit follow the thread, it's going to take us to a finite ending. So it's going to be the second ending that we have here. It's going to continue the game instead of taking us to the main menu. So we're done here. From this point, a dialog box is going to appear. We can just spam A, and we're done with Rico. From this point, we're going to go across the Founder's Gap. I am looking at my missions that we have left over. So we're going to go across the ferry, offer the Founder's Gap. Still waiting for the time for Rabbis. So we're going to go up the Ascender car. And you can see that there is a timer right above. But before we go into it, we're going to go into Gimber's Lounge and go buy us a spacer meal because we are starving. So, Sidereal Dock is going down, ticking down. That's leading to an ending. But we're going to go up to Bliss area. We're going to go to Bliss's area. And from here, what we're going to do is do a full system flush. And then it's going to lock it out. And we're going to have to go to tank recladding. Of course, I'm going to re-roll. And that gave me a 3. So I'm just going to push up to a 5. It's not going to give me anything to the circle down below. So I'm going to lose energy. So from this point, we're going to have to go to sleep. We have to do this quickly. And go to sleep. So from this point, what we're going to do is get up. And we're just going to head to Bliss and we're going to finish her stuff out. And a dialog box is going to appear. All you have to do is just spam A. And due to us starving, we don't have to eat or anything. We could just go straight to bed and just sunbathe. If you don't have enough action rolls to sunbathe, just eat from the gimbal lounge. I did eat. I didn't realize that I could sunbathe. I honestly slipped my mind about it. I did go down to check if there was anything I needed. If the rabbit office was done, the rabbi is done. It's not. So from this point, what we're going to do is just go to sleep. This is pretty much what we're going to be doing until one of them is done. So we're just going to end the cycle. Once we get up, we don't really have anything to do, so we could go right into farming to get some more stabilizers. So we're going to descend, and we're going to go right into the greenery. Of course, if you put your spores into the aviary, like I told you before, they should be done by now, I believe. I could be wrong. So I'm going to put my 3 spores right into this. And then I'm going to go back into the mushroom groves and grab me 3 more. I honestly forgot which one it was. I was trying to figure out how you get cupheads. You only get it from the aviary. Due to being on my last 2, I didn't do a reroll for some weird reason, but I did go down to the farm stacks and I bartered for food for some energy. Of course you could just sunbathe. I don't know why I did this. But from this point, what we're going to do is head back up to the spork. And we're just going to go to sleep. When we wake up, seeing how we don't really need anything and everything's on a timer, we're just going to back out of here, out of our sleeping quarters, and we're going to go right back into it and go back to sleep. When we wake up, the rabbit court office should be done. This is where we're going to get like 3 stabilizers. As you see for the 2 that are up there, the 2 timers, we need to lead at least 1 more cycle. So Rabbi, we're just going to speak to him and go to the dialogue. As once you're going to the dialogue, you should receive 3 stabilizers and a upgrade point. We need at least 1 more upgrade point, but I'm not worried about it because we basically have everything. We're in our final 2 things, which is right at the top. So we're going to ascend the spoke. As these are the last 2 things, we don't really need to go anywhere else. So we're just going to head to our capsule. And in our capsule, I'm going to use one of my action rolls to sunbathe to get some of our energy back. And then I'm going to sleep. When we wake up, Bliss is going to be sending a person down to get us. So, right when we back out, there they are. We're going to spam A. But before they're going to Bliss, what we're going to do is that we're going to Lemimina, which you can see with the dog tags right there on the bottom left. Could be somewhere different, but it's the dog tags. We're going to approach the entrance. And you want to watch what you say, because one of them can jack you up. So we're going to board. And go to the dialogue. And it's going to end. If you call out You can just dashboard and come right back into this. It's going to put you back when you woke up with the guy at your door. But right when you hit continue, it's going to put you right back into the main menu, as it's a fake ending. As once you go through, I mean, it's an actual ending, but it's not a definite ending, as you can continue. But right when we go right into it, you're going to wake up. He's going to be here. Just spam A. And then what you want to do is go to Lemon and Mina once again. And this time you want to call out to them. Approach the entrance. Call out. Call out again. Calm Lem down. Hand him the ID. Let him board. And that is the ending for Left Behind. We're going to hit continue, and the last thing we need to do is do Bliss. And then from there, what we're going to do is go into our second and third playthroughs, which should take an hour long. If you're dedicated to Lemon Mina's side, which is only the Shipyard. If you dedicate to the Shipyard, it should take an hour. Right when you get out of it, right when you come back into the main game, Castor is going to pop up. Just go through his dialogue. And then right from here, what we're going to do is that since it's all like disfigured, I was just trying to figure out where I was. But we're going to go right into Bliss. And what we're going to do is sacrifice section. We're going to put our 5 into it. That's going to push it up. Of course, since we don't really have any good rolls, of course, I could just spin it. I was trying to readjust it to how it was before, but I did it horribly. Since I didn't re-roll, what I did is that I put a stabilizer in me and then go to sleep. One thing we're going to be doing is Bliss. We aren't going anywhere. So right when you back out, what we're going to do is go straight back into her. Put in our 6. It's going to push up, saving the crop, as well as the 5. And then the 4. I'm going to re-roll. So I'm going to put it in my 3, which is going to make it a 5 due to the +2. And that's going to complete it. So we're going to back out, and a dialog box is going to appear. Just spam A. You can do the dialogue. Then we're going to go to Gimbo's Lounge. Of course, you could just use your sunbathing to get food, but since we don't really need money anymore, I went to the Gimbo's Lounge and ate for the Spacer meal. And then I sunbathe at the capsule. And then I went to sleep. We're coming close to the end. We're in the last 10 minutes. So we're going to go right back into it and go to sleep. That's basically what the last thing is doing. We're just waiting for her timer to go up. Of course, you could just sunbathe whenever you get the chance, so we don't have to worry about food. I don't know why I backed out there, but that's basically the whole thing. I'll just come back once the people come. Once we wake up, he's going to appear at the door again, go through his dialogue, and then we're going to go right back to Bliss. Make sure you do the one on the right. It gives you the most. I did the one on the left, which is wasted most of my time. So if you have like high rolls, put it on the right. If you have low rolls, put it on the patch solar sails. So I just wasted my rolls here. Did you see I put the 6 right here on the left? I wasn't looking at the thing at the top. The right gives you the most. Once we back out, seeing how I'm starving, I'll be going to the Gimbal Lounge. I'm going to be buying a spacer meal, and then we're going to be heading back to sleep. I did buy a second one just to get that bar filled up all the way. Then once we go back into our capsule, I did put a stabilizer in me because I wanted to get it done. Of course, you can't just wait, but it's entirely up to you. I want it to be stable and have all the action rolls at my disposal. So right when we get out, be going right back to Bliss. Put it to the right. As it's safe. Just put everything on the right. It's safe compared to the one on the left. I don't know why I keep putting everything on the left. I guess I didn't realize that it had safe at the bottom on the right. As well, giving us the most. But from this point, what we're going to do is just go to bed. As we close in our few minutes that we have left. When you go back to Bliss, make sure to put it on the right side like I said before. As it did complete it with this roll. We're going to go through the dialog box. Just keep on pressing A until we get to this point where it says, don't worry. And then we're going to say, we did it. What's his deal? And then we're just going to spam A for the rest of these. As once we get through, we're going to get an upgrade point. Of course, you get to put it to anyone that you want. I'm going to be putting it into interface. As after this, what we're going to do is go to sleep because there is a timer. And I'll meet you back once that timer is up. So you can just sunbathe and do whatever. And just keep the rolls going. I will put it down in the notes what time to skip to if you don't want to watch all this gameplay, because all I'm doing is just going straight to sleep. I'll just return right when I'm needed. Once we wake up, this is the last thing that we're needed for. So right when we back out, he's gonna be here. So just spam A. Maurice. We're gonna go straight to Bliss. And you can just spam A to go through this dialogue. I did stop. There's no reason to actually choose your choices here. The Ambergris is going to be here. And what we want to do is disarm the Amber and put in our rolls to get this completed. As once you do this, when you finish disarming the Amber, we're going to be put into a dialogue box, which would lead us to the ending. And we have to watch what we're saying. Since this is safe, we could put anything we want into this, so we're going to head straight to bed. Of course, eat a stabilizer, so we could at least complete this a lot faster. Of course, I got a horrible roll. So I re-rolled, and then we're going to go right back to the Ambergris. We're going to finish it out. And once you finish it out, make sure you choose these things correctly. So what we're going to do is say, "You okay, Maurice?" What do you think of her? She's leaving. You do a great job. And what you want to say is saying, "I'm going." Say thank you. And just right after you say thank you, just spam A. And then go through the dialogue. And then the achievement should pop and the credit should appear. From here, we're going to hit continue. And we're going to hit and go right back into it. Should put us right before we finish the Ambergris. So go right into it. Finish it off. And from this point, just keep on going through the dialogue. And at this point, when you look back at Maurice, you want to say, "I'm staying." All right, when you said, "I'm staying," go to the dialogue and the final achievement should appear for this playthrough. At this point, you should have 3 achievements left, and those are in the next 2 playthroughs. They should be an hour long. I made a small snippet of what you need to do for the playthrough, and it should take you, just like I said, an hour long, but myself put little notes at the top left, so you don't have to hear me speak. So let's go. As you go into playthrough 2, which is the Leave Together ending, the first thing you want to do is gain access to the doctor. So once you go to the tutorial, just go ask for directions and fill out that circle. Hopefully that 6 will max it out with a good roll. And just go speak to Sabine. And once you get this through, you're basically set, as he's gonna have to wait a few days. For 2, what we're going to do is you want to build yourself up, get your skill points up for your upgrades to make this even go faster. So if you have really horrible rolls, you could keep it going. For number 3, once you get yourself built up, we're going to start working at the shipyard and just keep it going. While you're doing the shipyard, you should have a bit of money at this point, but we're going to pay for the low end. This is the only time you actually have to pay for money, but we're going to pay for the low end to gain access for the mission that we're trying to get, the ending we're trying to get. And then just a little bit on, you should finish up the shipyard and you should be going to a dialogue with Lem and Mina. This is the ending that you're trying to get through. And you could just spam to A. There's pretty much nothing here. I will tell you when you actually have to be careful with your dialogue. And this is going to gain access with the unit assembly. You actually have to start that and finish this. So we're going to do it on system fitting. But right when you do finish it, we're going to have a dialogue box and you're going to have to choose your dialogue a bit carefully. We're going to hit Lem. We're going to be working on a shift. I am going a bit fast here. And right here, as I did stop, you want to say, go, I'll watch her. Then you want to say, hey, Mina. You okay, Mina? Then you want to look into the bag. Take the rabbit. Give her the rabbit. Hi, Bun Bun. I am. More than okay. And from this point, if you go up, you should have gained a spot that unlocks, which is called Lem and Mina's unit. From this point, once you go inside of it, you want to babysit. You could put anything in here. This is safe, so there's no negatives. It's going to unlock. Anyways, you could put a 1 in here, you'll be fine. Once the thing is full, once you back out, a dial is going to happen, so hit sure. Amazing. Doing great. She's great. You saved her. You'll make it. Together. Me too. And once that happens, you're going to get an upgrade point as well. Good robot for the achievement. We're going to go down right where the unit ability, the unit part. We're going to get the Sidereal Bridge. This is a long, lengthy process, but right when you get it done, you can spam A on the dialogue box that appears, as this dialogue is not really important. But right when you're done with this dialogue, what you want to do is go up to the free spoke if you don't have it unlocked already. The only reason why I'm asking you to go do the free spoke is because the timer is going on for the raffle, and this is going to fail either way due to story reasons. So we're going to go up. We're going to do the free spoke, and that's the area that makes you go up on the ship, elevate on the ship. Doesn't matter which one. I'm going to do is scale the spoke and try to get that done. Eventually, the timer is going to go up, and you could go down. And Lemon Mina is right there. You could just go through the dialogue. You just spam A. It doesn't matter. But the mission is going to fail. The drive is going to fail. And from this, what we're going to do is scroll up. And we're going to go straight to Lemon Mina's unit. And you can see that there's going to be a timer here once you get out of the dialog box. I did cut this because I didn't go right into it. But when you click on Lemon Mina's unit, this is just a little bit further. you can see that there is a timer. We're just gonna wait out that timer, and eventually we could go right into it. We could say, "Hi, Mina, how are you?" We're gonna play with Mina. Don't tidy up, and eventually Lem is gonna come in. I want to help. That can't be it. We could sneak aboard. What if I got you on board? And you could just spam A for the rest. From this, what we're going to do is that we're going to go scout the port. So we're going to go up on the spoke, ascend on a spoke, and this is going to unlock a option called the Sidereal dock. What we're going to have to do is fill out the circle. And eventually, once we do fill out the circle, Castor is going to appear out of nowhere, and he's going to be talking about the way of getting on board of the ship. We're going to hit Castor. They screwed us. Money. And you can just spam A. The dialogue doesn't really matter. But he's going to tell us about the Sidereal ship, what we need to go down, and there is a timer on this side dock. So we're going to go down all the way to the shipyard, and there's going to be a ship that's appeared there called the Sidereal ship. We're going to use 5s and 6s here to get this completed, as we don't want to alert the security there. So we're going to bluff past the security with our 6, and we're going to, that's once we put in the 6, it's going to lock it out, and we only could do the observe and explore. You see it's locked out. We're going to the observe and explore. And eventually, once you do have it unlocked, what we're going to do is back out, because they're both going to lock out. Go right back into it. And we're going to use our 6 to extract the Sidereal data. And this is going to lead us to our 2 endings. Of course, or you can just go back and just replay this whole section for playthrough 2. Or if you remember exactly what we need to do, but we're going to go up to Castor. He's going to be standing right next to Lem's door. So we're going to hit the button, will this work? Hand it over. What is this? What is it? Whatever you need to do. And Lem's going to come in. We're going to sit. I have some news. And this right here is the 2 segments for the 2 endings. We think things is going to destroy them, but we're going to go to I have Sidereal IDs for us. We are leaving. A friend helped. Sure. I love you too. And basically what we need to do once we go up to the center, all we have to do is wait for this timer that we already have set it, what I mentioned before, on the Sidereal dock. We just have to wait for the time. So you could just constantly go to sleep if you have enough stabilizers to make you do the cycles. But eventually, once the timer is up, you can see the Lem and Mina option is right there. You could go right into it. We're going to say, Lem, you ready? Then we're going to hit board. And you want to hit A, and you can just go through this whole dialogue. Just spam A. As of right now, you have gotten the achievement for the second playthrough, and it's going to take you to the main menu. For the third playthrough, I'm not going to play through the whole thing like how I did this one, but instead, what I'm going to do is place us right where that option is, where it says, I have second thoughts. What was it? I have something to tell you, or just rethink options. And that's where I'm going to put us at. for the destroy ID ending. So you can just follow along from playthrough 2. So will this work? Hand it over. What is it? Whatever you need to do. Sit. I have some news. Rethink things. Nothing. I forget it. Don't hit I have Silas IDs first, or it's going to go to second playthrough. Say, I'm good, just tired. It's going to keep beckoning for us to tell him, but we're not going to. This time, hit destroy the IDs. Then you want to say, sure. Are you sure? Show me. And once this dialog box has happened, what you want to do is wait for those. The timer is going to appear at the side dock once again, and this time we just have to wait it out. As once we wait it out, as we wake up from our slumber, sleeping in our rented little place that I have there, you probably just in the exact same old place that we're probably in before. But we're going to say, Lem, I'm sorry, Lem. I'm worried about you. Say yes. And it's going to go through the dialogue. Say, I understand. And the achievement's going to pop, giving you that completion, the 3-body problem. If you guys enjoyed this video, thank you for watching. I know it was a horrifying 3 hours that you had to listen to my voice, but I'll be showing you, of course, the timer of how long it took me, as it is 11:21. But we're going to go to all achievements, go to Citizen Sleeper. I'm going to go to my stats, and you can see that it did update. I did back out. I just want to make sure it did updated. Took me 5 hours and 8 minutes to complete this. My original time was about 14 hours. But if you have any problems with the game, please let me know down in the comments. But either way, I hope you have a good day and goodbye.